Hi my dear students, welcome to my biology class. Today we are going to begin a new chapter, chapter 7, Control and Coordination. First of all, introduction. As we all know that living organisms exhibit a lot of characteristic features. Some important characteristic features are growth, movement, reproduction, metabolism, life processes, etc. Out of these, which is the visible characteristic feature? It's of course movement. Movement is the visible characteristic feature. Movement is of different types, growth dependent movement and growth independent movements. Organisms exhibit both kinds of movement. When we look around, we can see different types of movement, such as children playing, cat running, buffalo chewing cud, then butterflies fly, birds fly, insects fly, and you are watching television, you are moving around here and there. All these are different types of movement. These are all not growth dependent movement. These are movement which are related to certain stimuli. What are stimuli? Stimuli are the external or internal factors that can promote or create response in the living organism. So stimuli, what are stimuli? These are certain factors which can make or create response in living organism. Stimuli can be of two types. Those are external stimuli and internal stimuli. External and internal. External stimuli like light, touch, pressure, temperature can trigger response in living organisms. As all living organisms are aware about their surroundings, they are able to respond to the particular stimuli. Okay, which are the external stimuli? Examples of external stimuli: light, temperature, pressure, etc. The internal stimuli can be the hormones or acids or enzymes that secreted by certain glands or tissues of the body that may cause hunger, thirst, sexual desire, etc. What are the examples of internal stimuli? Hormones, secretions of hormones, enzymes and acids. Secretions of hormones, enzymes, acids, etc. can cause different physiological responses in the body like thirst, hunger, sexual desire, etc. Organisms respond to various stimuli according to the need of the body or according to the situation. Just before, I have told you some examples of growth independent movement. Cat running. Cat may be running because it has seen a rat. Children try to get pleasure or happiness out of playing. Buffaloes chew the cud thoroughly to digest it very easily. Birds fly in search of food. These are some examples of growth independent movements. These responses are the signs of certain stimuli. These are highly controlled and coordinated in such organisms. So for example, then you observe the picture of a tennis player. While playing the tennis, he coordinates many activities. He observes the ball with the help of his eyes and analyzes the observations with the help of his brain and he gave quick response with the help of his muscles. Here all these body parts are coordinated and give a quick response to the stimulus. In animals, all these movements are highly controlled and coordinated with the help of both nervous system and endocrine system. Here the tennis player performed this activity with the help of his nervous system and also with the help of his muscular tissue. How do we respond to various stimuli? For example, how do we smell things, and what happens when we touch hot objects, and how do we detect the taste of the food? All these take place with the help of our sense organs. These sense organs have specialized sensory receptors in them. Those sensory receptors receive the stimuli from the external surroundings and with the help of a specific system in the body coordinate these messages and stimuli and convey that message in the form of electrical impulses or electric current, and finally those are reached to the central nervous system, that is the brain in the human body. So there are specialized receptors in the human body. Those are photoreceptors for the vision. Photoreceptors for vision. Then phonoreceptors for sound, for receiving the sound. Phonoreceptors for sound. Then olfactory receptors for smell. Olfactory receptors for smell. Then gustatory receptors for tasting the food. Taste the food. And thigmoreceptors to identify the symbol touch. Now you are watching my video lesson. At the same time you may be hearing some sound from the surroundings, you may be listening music, and you may listen some other things, or you are thinking at the same time, you are seeing the images, you are doing a lot of activities at a time. How are these activities coordinated and controlled in the complex organisms like human beings? For this, we have highly developed organ system in the body. So we are going to think about the coordination in animals. In all the animals belonging from the phylum Coelenterata to the class Mammalia, the control and coordination of the activities is enabled by a specialized group of cells called neurons. When we think about the higher animals like vertebrates and mammals, including humans, we have a well-developed nervous system. These neurons are organized to form a well-developed nervous system in humans' body and also in the higher animals' body. So not only this nervous system, but also we have a hormone secreting system, that is our endocrine system. So both nervous system and endocrine system coordinate and control all the activities in higher animals, so that we have a specific neuroendocrine system for performing all the activities. Neuroendocrine system. It is composed of both the nervous system and the endocrine system. Nervous system means it is composed of brain, spinal cord and neurons. Different types of nerve cells or neurons. The endocrine system consists of specific endocrine glands. Endocrine glands. Endocrine glands are ductless glands which secrete hormones directly to the blood. Hormones to the blood. So, with the help of this endocrine system and the nervous system, all the body functions of the higher animals, including human beings, are highly controlled and coordinated. Just before, I have told you that nervous system is composed of numerous neurons. So, neurons are the structural and functional units of the nervous system. That means they perform the functions of the nervous system and also give the structure to the nervous system. Now, we are going to learn the structure of a neuron in detail. Structure of a neuron. A neuron is a normal but elongated and branched cell present in human body. Now let's study the structure of a neuron with the help of a diagram. Here you look at the board, you can see the diagrammatic representation of a neuron. A neuron has mainly three parts. Those are dendrites, cell body. Cell body is also known as cytosol, then axon. Okay, here you can see the cell body. It is a normal cell, but it is branched and elongated. It has cell organelles like other animals like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus and nucleolus. Here you look at the main part of the neuron, that is a cell body or cytosol. Okay, then from the cell body, main tubes are arised. Those main tubes are known as dendrons. These dendrons branch out to form fine dendrites. So, the second part is called, the important part is the dendrites. Okay, a main elongated part that is originated from the cell body, that is axon. This is the longest part of the neuron. And axon is protected by a specific sheath or layer called myelin sheath. And myelin sheath is not continuous. It is interrupted at specific intervals. That is called node of Ranvier. So together those are known as nodes of Ranvier. Okay, each axons end with or bifurcated at the end, at the posterior end. Those branches are known as axonites or nerve endings. Each axonite has a specific spherical structure called synaptic knob. The synaptic knob carries the neurotransmitter which is essential for the conduction of nerve impulse. Then let's study the function of each main part of the neuron. First of all, dendrites. Dendrites are the fine branches of the neuron. Just before I have told you that we have a specific receptors at the sense organ, the tip of the dendrites of the specific sense organs. Those receptors like photoreceptors, phonoreceptors, gustatory receptors and so on. Not only those receptors, we have specialized receptors for receiving various kind of stimuli from external and also from the internal surrounding. Here, what is the role of dendrites? Dendrites receive the stimulus from the surroundings, both from the external surroundings and the internal surroundings. It receives the stimulus and conveys that is in the form of impulse or electric impulse. So first of all, let's begin from stimulus. So stimulus is received by what? Dendrites. So dendrites convey that stimulus in the form of what? Electrical impulse. Electrical impulse. Here, electrical impulse means a self-propagated electric current that runs specifically on the surface of the neuron. When a dendrite receives stimulus, it creates an auto-excitation at the site. This auto-excitation creates an electrical current at the site. From here, it is propagated through the different parts of the neuron and it is traveled from one neuron to the next neuron. So the function of the dendrite is to receive the stimuli and conduct that stimulus in the form of what? Electrical impulses. So from here, from the dendrites, then it goes to the cell body. So certain processes take place at the cell body because it has different cell organelles. Mitochondria provide energy, and from here it is conducted through the longest part of the neuron, that is axon. So from here the impulse is conducted into the cell body, then to the axon. Okay, then finally it reaches to the axonites. Okay, at the axonite, what is there? Synaptic knob. The synaptic knob contains neurotransmitter. This neurotransmitter is essential for the propagation of nerve impulse from the one neuron to the next neuron. Let's revise the functions of these three main parts. Dendrites receive the stimulus and cell body analyze or process it, and axon is the main conducting part of the neuron. It conducts electrical impulses. Got it? Next, let's study the different types of neurons. On the basis of their functions, neurons are of three types. Those are sensory neurons, interneurons, and motor neurons. So, types of neuron. What are they? Sensory neuron, interneuron, then motor neuron. So first of all, sensory neurons. Then what are sensory neurons? Sensory neurons are the neurons which convey the impulse from the sense organs to the central nervous system. Our central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. So sensory neurons convey the impulses from the sense organs to central nervous system. Sense organs to central nervous system, that is our brain and spinal cord. Next category is interneuron. Interneuron enables the communication between the sensory neuron and the motor neuron. It creates a link between these two through the central nervous system. Okay, so interneuron, communication between what? Sensory neuron and motor neuron. So what is the role of motor neuron? Motor neurons convey the impulses from the brain to different parts of the body for performing different responses. So brain, not only from the brain, from the central nervous system. So central nervous system to different body parts like muscles, glands, etc. These are the different types of neurons found in higher animals' body. So the coordinated functions of all these neurons help us to perform different activities, help us to respond to various stimuli. Did you get the different types of neurons? The sensory neuron, interneurons, and the motor neurons. Today we have learned about the structure of neuron and the types of neuron. So with this I conclude my session. I hope you understood the topic well. So thank you and have nice moments.